Hey, it's Nay, and welcome back to Nay's Little Garden and Home. So I'm here to chat to you guys. It's a little bit of a different video, but we have 31 days, all right, of videos to do, and I figured there are definitely new people out there who would like to garden, like new gardeners, and maybe you don't have much space, blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna cut to the chase. I'm gonna say if you have about $350, you could have a fairly quality small garden. I don't want you to be scared of the number $350 because there's a lot of ways you could probably do it for about $250 and do something similar to this by getting, I'm using pretty good soil here. I'm also doing the grow bag method, and I've included some other things that I think is gonna just help you on this journey. So don't be scared of the $350, but if you could scrap together $350, you could get these things. Or you can say, okay, I got $50 every pay period from now, right? You can get a few of these things at any given point and build up to be able to grow. Disclaimer before we jump into this. I know there's a lot of things I'm saying before I jump into it. I just think it's important. There are different ways to grow things. There are different methods to go about it. It can be cheaper. I want to make this as easy as possible. We're using 2 separate websites. That's it, that's all. And you're getting everything I feel like you need to start your garden. We're using grow bags. You don't have to use grow bags. This is just like almost like a funsy video that might actually be useful to somebody, right? So I used Amazon and MI Gardener's website. You can in fact get seeds from Amazon. Do that with what you will. MI Gardener is selling his seeds for $2 a seed. Next year he'll be selling his seeds for $2.25 a seed. That is some of the most cheapest seeds for the pretty good, like very good quality, and his shipping is $3.95. Now I think if you spend $20 on seed, I think you get free shipping, but we're not just buying just to buy. So the first thing you're gonna need in order to go ahead and start a garden, we're doing grow bags, is I said a five 15-gallon grow bags. On Amazon, the Vivo Sun grow bags, you can get that for $22. And I'm rounding up for all of these numbers, okay? That's 5 15-gallon grow bags. 15 gallons to me was a pretty good space to start, because a 10-gallon grow bag, you could grow just about everything in a 10-gallon grow bag, but the 15-gallon means you could possibly squeeze 2 plants of something in there, and I toss in a couple extras of another type of plant, and I'm going to explain to you that in a second. Also, soil is going to be the most expensive thing you're going to spend on. That is the biggest budget here that I'm talking to you about. And so when I say I don't want you to be afraid of this, even if you want to do grow bags, you can go ahead and get you some Miracle-Gro soil. I am using very good soil, or pretty good soil here. Okay, I want to set you up for as good of success as possible. If you have a little bit extra money, Happy Frog is probably some of the top tier grow soil that you can use. I'm using Espoma's organic potting soil mix here. I had I forget, I'm spacing on what soil I used. Hold on, let me look that up for you really quick. Orders. There was a soil I used specifically. These are good soil. Coast of Maine. I used the Coast of Maine. I didn't price the Coast of Maine in this. I used Espoma, but you really honestly, like I said, can go ahead and get you some cheaper soil. You don't need as many amendments if you get better soil, because the amendments are already in the soil. I said all that to say that for the 5 15-gallon grow bags, you are going to need a good amount of soil, okay? So the Espoma potting mix comes in 1 cubic feet at $26 a bag. So you're gonna get 8 of those for about $208, because a 15-gallon grow bag is gonna take about 2 cubic feet. And then you can get 1 3-pack of the Happy Frog soil. If you don't want to do that, you can just get 10 of them, and that will be perfectly fine. Let's just say, to make things easier, get 10 bags of the Espoma potting soil mix, and that's just gonna be a little bit more. I think that's like $250 something, $240 something. And then you're gonna go and get you the tomato cages. There's a 4-pack of the 49-inch tall tomato cages for $30. I think I took a pause because I know there's still a lot of people who will say the tomato cages are useless. They definitely work very well for peppers, and you can definitely get by and get a good amount of tomatoes using a tomato cage. There's a bunch of different ways you can go about staking up tomatoes. This, to me, is just the easiest way. And then, so that's putting you at about $300. You can stop there and get you a packet of seeds. We're going to talk about that in a second, and keep this a little bit under budget. I went ahead and added a liquid fertilizer. Guys, the liquid fertilizer I'm using here is from Fox Farm, so you're going to look about $18 to spend on that. Did you need that? For sure. No. I'm giving you the best possible chances of getting a good harvest. Fertilizing, especially because you're in a grow bag and has a limited amount of soil, so has a limited amount of nutrients, is going to give you maximum capacity of growing that you could possibly do. And the Fox Farm was anywhere from like $17 to $19. So I put around the $18, $19 range in there, and then you can keep it moving. Moving on to the M.I. Gardener website. I feel like I push M.I. Gardener a lot because his prices are really good. Luke himself, the owner of M.I. Gardener, cares about growers, like the growing community. He wants people, he be bringing back extinct vegetables and like tomato varieties and stuff. Like, he's just doing the dang thing. So I think supporting a small business and getting a great price is amazing. And it's $3.95 for shipping, which I also think is pretty good. You could also get fertilizer from Luke if you please. That does change the pricing a little bit, but not by anything crazy. So do with that what you will. I have here 2 different varieties of peppers, 2 different varieties of tomatoes, and a seed packet, and a carrot packet. That comes together for $13.95, including shipping. Let's just say $14. So for about $350, you're gonna get the actual thing that you're gonna grow in, the soil you need to grow the things in, the seeds you need to actually grow the produce, and cages in order to do this. Now, I said a 4-pack, right? And you're getting 5 grow bags, because the idea is in one of these grow bags, you're going to toss in and pick a root vegetable. It could be carrots, beets, or parsnips. I picked also these things because you really, truly will be just fine putting these seeds into the ground and letting them grow from seed. The pricing will go slightly up if you don't want to start the tomatoes and peppers from seed. You can go ahead and get you tomato plants and pepper plants from any growing, whatever, pick a place that sells plants, right? And only buy you carrot seeds or beet seeds or parsnip seeds, whatever. But you're still gonna pay that $3.95. So think like $6 for seeds. If you are a new grower and don't want to mess around, or you keep seeing people starting stuff in their house, because we did not include that in this price, right? You really could just do that, and the price does not dramatically skyrocket for 1 year, pricing wise. However, the packets will last you more than 1 year, versus when you get the actual plants, they're going to only be good for the 1 year. Now, I'm saying this, and technically you can try to save the seeds from the plant that you purchased, and that is going to help lower the overall cost, because now you have saved seeds and you don't have to buy more plants the following year. You can do all those things with that. I do think, like I said, all of these things are quite important to really start your garden. Now, like I said, you can lower the price by looking at the soil you're buying. Get more affordable soil. I do think fertilizer is important. I do. Now, are there ways to do cheaper fertilizer? Sure. I've heard people crush up, dehydrate, or whatever, let eggs dry out the shells, crush them up, sprinkle that on their soil. I've heard people making like a compost tea, like from like other plants and stuff, like steeping it. I've heard people go ahead and take banana peels and scrape that and make that into like a thing to go ahead and use in their garden. You can start your own compost pile for very, very, very cheap. There are a lot of things you can do to try to save some money. Just know that what you don't spend in money to make things a little easier, right, you're gonna spend in your time. So you have to decide what you have the energy to do and the capabilities to do as a newer gardener, and what you have the money to do. Like I said, we can make this cheaper. If you have soil, on like you have some square footage to actually grow, you could go ahead and fork it up a little bit to loosen some of the soil. Maybe get 1 or 2 bags of soil just to top up what you already have in your ground, which is a lot less bags of soil, right? And give it some more nutrients, and then you can attempt to grow stuff. And there is a high chance you will still, in fact, grow things. I'm just thinking to widen it, people who don't have any, grass and, soil and stuff like that, or they don't want to dig up their ground, or they want to be able to control the soil that you're using to grow their things. $350 is not cheap. I don't want to act like it's cheap. In the times we live in, everything is going to be a little difficult, but starting somewhere could do you a lot of good. And you'll be surprised if you already know someone that gardens, they might be willing to give you some seeds. They might be willing to give you some starts. And when I say give, it might be for free. It might be, who knows, maybe you make desserts and you give them a couple of your cookies or whatever. People who garden, honestly, a lot of the times, when obviously if they know you don't go up to random strangers, don't mind giving some things away, especially if they know it's gonna help you to garden too. You know what I mean? So these are all things I just want you to take into consideration. And like I said, I went off of one website. You can go to a bunch of different places, whatever. Like Walmart has plant food, to fertilize. They also, Home Depot and stuff like that can have soil. Your local garden center can have soil and plant starts and seeds. You can get seeds from so many different places. You can also obviously get the tomato cages from all those same places, grow bags from all those same places, and you can play around too if it comes to money. But like I was saying, like $50, right? So 2, 3, 50. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In 7 different pay, if you can do $50 per pay period, you would need about 7 of them. We're in the beginning of December, right? Let's say you get paid twice in December. By the beginning of March, you can have everything you need, right? If you get paid about twice each month, you could have possibly everything you need to start the garden. And March actually is about the time where you would be looking into even starting to get these things outside and prepping for them. Does that make sense? And let me know if this video was useful at all. But basically, grow something. And I gave you, I'm going to say something and walk with me. I gave you options, right? So I got a bell pepper in here and a banana pepper. So there's 2 different sizes. I've got a cherry tomato and then a bigger slicing tomato. So you can grow with the 5 grow bags, 1 tomato plant, right? Let's say you do the slicing tomato, and then you can do, I feel like you really could fit 2 cherry tomatoes in a 15-gallon grow bag, right? In the second one. And then you can do two of the other grow bags, you can do peppers, and then in the other grow bag you can do a root vegetable, like a carrot, parsnip, beet. And you would be just fine, and you would start growing stuff. And the great thing about that is majority of this stuff you don't have to rebuy again for the following year. You might go ahead and get you a little bit, like, let's say 2 bags of soil just to top up, because it is going to come back down or whatever. So maybe 1 or 2 bags of soil to top up your grow bags, some more liquid fertilizer. And if you went ahead with the seed method, you won't have to use seeds. If you went with the plant method, you will have to buy some more plants, or if you save seeds, you would have to think about potentially getting some seed starting supplies. And that would be significantly less. You know what I mean? I think that everyone should attempt to grow something. And do you have to get 5 grow bags? No. You may even, like, you can get the 5-pack, right? Because it's like pricing wise, you can get 4-pack, whatever the packs are. And you may only start with 2 grow bags. You can grow 1 tomato plant, 1 pepper plant. And that significantly drops the pricing, right? Because you only need 4 bags of soil as opposed to the 10, right? So now instead of $200 and something, now maybe you're spending $90 something, or 80, whatever that price is. I'm not doing that right now, but I think growing something is very awesome. And I'm not saying tomatoes, peppers, and carrots are the best thing to start with. I just know that if you succeed in growing, tomatoes and peppers blow my mind. And I think carrots and beets and all them is also really cool. I think that if you want to start growing something as well, like you're just like, okay, I need something simpler for even cheaper, you really could get you the smaller little packs and grow you some herbs. Herbs are, I mean, most people are going to use that in cooking, right? And they are quite expensive in the grocery store. And that's anything: basil, thyme, oregano, parsley. I mean, there's so many things you can grow. And you could, there's a high chance you could grow that in your house, right? If you have a window that has sunlight coming in. Anyway, that's all I really want to talk about today. Once again, I don't want us to be like, oh my gosh, if I don't have $350, I can't grow. I just wanted to give you a pretty decent sized garden with really good ingredients in that garden, right? To have the pretty good success rate. You can also go to Dollar Tree, I believe, to get seeds even cheaper. You know what I mean? So, like, just look into it and try to grow something. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this whole video. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. And hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.